What is going on? I'm zmoT. We are on the Xmas 0 victory points account, and we are going to be not doing Warships, but do jump on in, collect those free diamonds and those free trader tickets. No idea when Rudy is coming to the main base. If he is, yeah, I know, I'm with you, but need those trader tickets for the extra loot, and in the off chance he does come soon, we got code zmoT in that shop. We are doing War Factory today. Now, as you can tell by up here, I've only got 124 diamonds, don't have troops loaded, so this is going to be a bit of a struggle bus. But noticed something, I forgot. Rifles load basically instantly, so we are going to be doing this using our good friends, the rifles. I have always used Zookas in the past. If you are a mid to low level player though, do give rifles a shot if you don't have instant training. They load so darn fast. 3 minutes and 30 seconds to fill your boats compared to 48 minutes or whatever the heck it is. Also, only 12 diamonds, so we are going to give rifles a shot. Not 100% sure if it's going to work or not, but first and foremost, let's have a little scouty scout. If you are XP37 or higher, you should be able to finish this War Factory. That sounds difficult, I know, but trust me, you guys have got this. What we are going to start out with is getting rid of 2 defenses. I need to decide which ones. Maybe we can get 3 depending on how much GBE we have. What we're going to do, artillery on there. That is fairly gosh darn important. And then we're going to drop Everspark over here, get her towards her flag, and then flare onto that rocket launcher. The rocket launcher is fairly important because what we want to do is get Everspark in a spot where she can hack 2 buildings as opposed to 1, and the easiest way to do that is to flare the right one and damage the buildings behind us. I am going to throw as many hacks as we can get out here. Come on, there's the double hack. Getting 2 buildings. A lot of you probably don't have the GBE for more than that, so I figured we'll start with that, and using our extra GBE, we're going to get rid of these gosh darn flotsams. They do have fairly low health. They look super tough, I know, but just throwing all of our GBE towards those. And now you can see we are at 7 GBE left. So if you really wanted to risk it for the biscuit, you could throw a couple rifles like here and clear those extra buildings, but we are not going to do that. You could also clear this entire right-hand side, but like I said, we're trying to keep it simple so everyone can copy this. By all means, do clear those buildings, use your troops, but I am not going to do that just to show that you don't need it. If you have instant training or you want to spend the diamonds, by all means, do it. Now, that zmoT is going to be a massive, massive problem if you let it be. So we want to hack that back shock launcher, but zmoT is going to be a problem. So I'll do that on my next attack, but for right now, all we're going to do on this one is drop Everspark in that same sort of neighborhood. We're going to click the hack button, then click the flare, and 1 more smoke should do it, and that's it. Everspark is going to hack that shock launcher. We are going to spend a bunch of our GBE on those flotsams, all of our GBE actually. And then once those flotsams do explode here in a second or 2, come on, take the other one with you. There we go. Chain reaction of flotsams. We're just going to throw all of our GBE onto those machine guns, and machine guns are gone, shock launchers are gone, rocket is gone, flotsams are gone, and we have wasted and lost 0 troops so far. I have not done these attacks in years, but this is where I cut my teeth on the YouTubes, showing so many of you how to beat War Factory. And we are going to switch it up here. We're going to bring Everspark's other ability, which is, of course, those critters right there, getting all of the critters. And if you've never done this drop before, I'm going to show you how it's done. We're going to get our troops out. Here we go. So you want to get 1 smoke to cover this corner, and then 1 smoke here to make a nice set of eyes here. That way, you get all of your troops underneath the smoke, and you don't have to worry about losing any of them in the process. Just like that. Yes, we will have a couple peek their heads out, but nothing to be concerned about. As we come back here with Zookas, that works every single time. With not Zookas, we get a little bit of difficulty because Riflemen don't have the same range as Zookas do, unfortunately. And now we find out if our rifles have enough damage to get rid of all of this stuff. And now we've got critters onto that Doom Cannon, don't need any more shocks at the second. And this is where Zookas range is a huge advantage. Will rifles work? We'll find out here in a second. We are losing more troops, but those troops are crazy cheap and load crazy fast. By the way, let me know if this Christmas music is good and or annoying. And now, because of that zmoT, we're just going to throw all of our gunboat energy back here on this shock launcher. And we probably should have done something about those flamethrowers, but again, that's just me being used to using Zookas. Don't have to worry about flamethrowers at all with Zookas, but with Riflemen, they will pose a bit of a problem. So we're just going to farm up some gunboat energy here. And we're losing a couple rifles at a time. Not a ton, but definitely need to keep them a little bit more central. They tend to stray a bit more than Zookas. And we're doing pretty darn great, to be honest. We're going to get into at least one of those rewards. And reminder, you don't always have to beat War Factory. Sometimes those final rewards aren't worth the squeeze. So we'll just see how this goes as far as clearing into those flamethrowers. We should have enough GBE for a shock by the looks of things. So we're just going to clear all the way through these. Those critters are going to distract the flamethrowers a tiny bit. They're also going to work to show us where that range is, so when we need to be concerned about getting close. And now there is our last and final shock. As soon as that shock starts to wear off, we're going to flare into here, getting away from the flamethrowers, and now we can retreat. So lost a couple rifles, but let's be honest, we cleared that entire right-hand side, and we still have 2 attacks left, I think. We'll just have to have a little look-see to see what we're at as far as troops go. We have 2 attacks left, and we've gotten all of the bottom rewards. All that's left is the wood and those flux capacitors. We're going to bring 7 diamonds worth of troops back in, and hopefully you guys are seeing the benefit of using rifles here. And now flamethrowers are going to be a bit of a problem. Rocket launchers have such low health that we can get rid of those as well. And then ideally, we just have to throw 1 shock here and have our critters distract all of the Doom Cannons. So we are going to drop all of our troops up the front here. We're going to drop Everspark back here. That way she's going to get some critters out. And then by the time she gets in range of that sniper tower, we should have some critters out front of her. There we go. And now just barrage on those corners as we throw all of our GBE back there, getting rid of those rocket launchers, hopefully. Come on, GBE. And that's where using barrage is not ideal, because you end up hitting one and missing the other. And now we're in pretty darn good shape. Rocket launchers are gone. Shock. Oop. There's a benefit to using Riflemen. They have more health than Zookas. All of those Zookas would have been dead if they were in fact Zookas, but thankfully Riflemen with a little teeny tiny bit more health. I was not paying enough attention to that shock launcher clearly, and now we can get back into this neighborhood, away from the mortars, away from the shock launchers, and hopefully get rid of those flamethrowers with 1 shock just like that, clearing. And we're just going to leave our troops. I know that I said we're not going to waste too many diamonds, but we should be able to get rid of most of this stuff with a med kit thrown on top of those guys. And now we're just going to walk forwards, and we're going to see exactly how this is going to look once we get towards that core. We've got that hot pot popping up. We've got a flamethrower there, and all of our troops will be vaporized instantly if we let that happen. So not super great here. We've got almost all those rewards, and this is where you need to make that choice. Do you want to go for the pride of taking it down, or do you just want to get those 65 gears? And if you want to get 65 gears, you just come down in here. If you want to take that down, then you're going to have to do 376,000 damage to that. And you cannot get a perfect shock to get the mortar with it, so we're going to have to range that mortar by going up high, and this is going to be an absolute bloodbath. So we are going to bring Miss Brick. Brick will probably die. Let's be honest here, because Brick likes to die, and that will probably be the wrong decision. So maybe you want to bring Everspark, but we're going to bring Brick, hoping that all of our rifle friends get there before Brick, because they are slightly faster than her, which might just save them from that zmoT. We will find out here in a second or two. And now we're going to get to that back wall. This makes me nervous. This is not going to be super duper smooth. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, getting all of our smokes out and just hoping that our rifles keep Brick alive. We're going to hit that battle orders button, and then as soon as that smoke starts to clear, we're going to shock and shock. You know what? Let's use 3 shocks, and now just battle orders onto that headquarters, and now mortars are flying and rifles are doing damage. One more shock to keep that zmoT off, or that hot pot off of us, as all of our rifles are blasting away at that headquarters. I don't necessarily recommend using rifles for this hit, but look how gosh darn close we got that. Man, rifles bringing the pain. They don't have enough damage on that core. You definitely should load Zookas if you want to take that down, but we left it with 2,840 health left. So if you guys use any sort of realistic troops, you can get that down. Rifles, not the best choice, and just double checking, we did not have a rifle tribe. So only have 2 tribes at the mid to low levels, so don't have anything useful, and that Zooka speed can actually be detrimental. But if you are going to use Zookas with Brick, maybe consider boosting that so that your Zookas get in range of those zmoTs first, which will keep her alive. Possibly? On the main account, we have the rally tribe enabled, so we're just going to go full on rally with all of the riflemen, and as they start to explode and die, things are going to get super duper fun and interesting. So armor probably would be better for this. Armor seems to be better for most things, but we still have that tribe enabled from when the heavy choppas were here, and warrior health. This would be a great one for warriors, but lots of zmoTs nearby. Just walking through the war factory should be fairly straightforward, I think, but we'll find out here in a second. And critters just making all of the difference in the world. We're going to drop one more smoke up in there, and then all of these guys over into here. Need Kavon to get underneath, and now as we start to lose troops, things are only going to get more fun. So throwing critters, such a huge benefit. Obviously, as soon as you get critters, you get more tribes as well, and there's just so much stuff available as our rifles start moving quickly. Yes, I just said start. We're going to get a shock out there, and then just getting rid of all this stuff as Kavon brings out more goodness, and now just walking through this using nothing but rifles. So not exactly sure why I decided to start on rifles today, but let's be honest here, max levels, all of you could just barrage down the headquarters on this one. No big deal whatsoever. Max levels, War Factory has become an absolute and utter joke, but trying to find ways to make it fun and continuing to crush through these things. If you are a max level, I would love to hear if you're still actually attacking War Factory or not. I'm guessing you're not doing it in this manner. I would love to hear if you're doing Save the Core, or if you're just completely and utterly ignoring it. Maybe you're just barraging the core. Maybe you don't care enough to even barrage the core. Like we just did what our low level did in 4 attacks in 1 with basically no flares, no skill, no thinking at all. So should I have soloed it with some other troops? Probably, but 240 rifles costs basically nothing. Like Supercell has done fairly well to make rifles into that troop that bridge the gap where at least you've got something, and smoky rifles are a lot of fun. This Christmas music, I'm turning this off. This is, it's gone too far. Okay, sorry, I've got it in my ears. I usually don't have the music in my ears, but today I did for whatever reason, and it is just too much. As we get all of our rifles up into this neighborhood, we're going to throw a critter about there and a shock there and there and there, and all of our dudes should just pummel everything in front of them. We don't have that issue that the low levels have where we don't have the damage, like just burning the core. Super simple, as Kavon brings us all sorts of extra pink zombie dudes, and down goes the core. So War Factory, not Warships. Abandon the heavy choppas, get that defib out. Defib is so fun on warships, and you can't really use defib when you're using heavy choppas with your rocket choppas. So anyways, that is that. I am still playing warships on one account. I managed to get it up into 23 yesterday. We'll have all of the boom for you tomorrow, but for the second, just claiming all of those diamonds off of the base. And I shall talk to you soon. Bit of a weird video today, but bit of a throwback at the same time. Looking forward to making that thumbnail. I shall talk to you soon. Thank you for coming in, liking, sharing, subscribing, code zmoTing, and more importantly, leaving comments down below. Thanks for coming in. I'm zmoT.